All right, welcome back. Today I am working on a custom Strat. This is essentially a parts guitar, or kind of a self-made kit guitar, if you will, composed of Fender licensed parts, but not by Fender. Made by other companies that are out there doing exactly this. Basically, all that we need to do on this one today is a quick setup, and also we're going to be installing some string trees up here. We just want to make sure that this guitar gets up and playing right, and that's how we're going to get this started. So first thing I'm going to look at is the neck. Again, the order of operations is neck, saddle, nut. And this guitar neck has no relief in it whatsoever. It is totally flat. And that might be an okay thing, but most likely it does need to have a little bit of relief in it at very least. So we're going to check the playability on it and see if we can't figure out if the neck needs to have some relief in it. So the action on it is also crazy low right now, and it's out of tune. So let's start with that. Alright, so a lot of those strings had to come up to tension. So I'm going to look again now. And yeah, I can see there's just the tiniest little bit of relief in the neck now. So that's a good sign. Let's check the fretting on it. A little bit of fretting out here on that high E string. There's plenty of nut available though. But what we are definitely not correct is in our saddle height. That's fine. That's an easy fix. So one thing I'm taking note of here is that the action, so in other words, the saddle height of the guitar is way too low right now. But also, we have 9-gauge strings on here, and the customer is requesting 10-gauge strings. Putting these strings in tune, I got just the slightest bit of relief. It could probably use a little bit more relief in the neck, but I'm thinking that upgrading from 9-gauge strings to 10-gauge strings is probably going to take care of that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and get some 10s on it and see where that takes us. Customer provided these Graph-Tech string trees, which are not super typical for a Stratocaster, but nonetheless, that's what he wants, so that's what we're going to use. Okay, so that's one. And I guess he wanted another one here as well, which is totally fine. It's come as a set of 2. Stratocasters typically only have 1 string tree on the high E and B strings. No reason why you couldn't have more than the one though. All right, so we know now that we've got the right gauge of string on there. We've got our string trees installed so we have the right tension on our strings. Let's get it tuned up. So I'm tuning this up here, and I'm realizing by the time I get this one in tune, this one's not in tune. And this is the reason why. I don't have enough spring tension on the back of my tremolo. And so this is pulling right up. So what I'm going to do is, because, and this is really important if this ever happens to you, the first thing you need to do is not screw these down. You need to loosen up the strings you just tightened. Because basically screwing those down is also going to tighten the strings. And if you over tighten them, they will break. So we don't want that. Okay. Now we're almost back to flat here. Now what you really want to do here when you're dealing with tremolo springs is you want to over tighten them first, okay? You want to get these over tightened so that this stays flat. No matter what you do, this stays flat, right? Then you put it in tune, get everything else set up, and then that's going to be your last step, is to loosen that until you just are barely able to see this this start to move. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and grab the tremolo here. Now, if you never use a tremolo, then you can just leave that tightened all the way. That's fine. But right now, this would be a very, very stiff tremolo. And most people prefer not to have it play that way. All right, so now we have it back in tune, and you can see that that bridge didn't go anywhere. It is not moving. So that's fine. I'm going to adjust these saddles here next so that they're in a good position. Once I have my high E string in place, I can kind of rough in the others. Okay, so we're getting close here. I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in. Now I'm sure that everything is way out of tune again, of course. Okay. Getting just a little bit of buzz. Getting just the tiniest little bit of buzz right there on that high E. Let's see if that takes care of it. A little bit more here on the G string. You're ever so slightly too low on that one. Apologize, I'm speaking with a pick in my mouth here. All right, so it is playing well. It sounds good. The last step here is we're going to loosen this up just a little bit. And that's a much easier tremolo unit right there now. All right, last thing I'm going to do is for like the 18th time here is I'm going to tune it up, make sure that it is playing in tune before it goes off to the customer. All right, never ever store your instrument with the tremolo on. Always take that off. So this guitar is ready to go here. Just going to wipe it down a little bit. And let me just tighten this back up here. All right, so that's it for this guitar. Pretty simple repairs all the way around. Just a little bit of some more kind of complicated things that came up in a setup. But, you know, that's what you're dealing with a tremolo unit. Everything else turned out really nicely. I think it plays nice. It sounds good. And it's time to call the customer and arrange a time for pickup. Thank you so much for watching Gabriel's Guitars. We greatly appreciate all of your comments, your shares, your likes. Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so you can be notified of any new videos. Thank you so much again, and have a great day.